According to brides.com, the average wedding venue costs $5,000 based on a low of $3,000 to a high of $12,000 for the venue site fee, not including food and good old-fashioned alcohol, because 9 times out of 10, weddings are not serving Shirley Temples, unless they have attendants like me, because I love Shirley Temples, and I don't drink, so teach his own. Anyway, 10 to 15% of your budget is going to go to entertaining your guests in a stunning and spacious venue, and there is a lot of options to consider when choosing what kind of amenities, what style, for how long, during what season, and for how much. Hello, Bride Tribe. It is your girl, Leah Lowe from Alpha Artistry, Wedding Films and Photography, with another video helping you with all things weddings. Speaking of helping you with all things weddings, download my wedding videographer checklist that helps future brides like yourself make the best informed decision with their investment into a wedding videographer. Link is in the description. Yeah, in the description. Okay. In today's video, we are going to briefly touch on all these points because I know your time is limited while planning a wedding, and I want to respect that time while giving you helpful advice that can make planning your wedding stressful. I'm sorry, a little less stressful. I don't know. Hopefully. Well, anywho, also I have a special treat at the end of this video where we get some helpful insights from Wedding Wire's Couples Choice Award recipient for 2020 and 2021, Scarritt Bennett Center in Nashville, Tennessee. Ellen Coleman is the wonderful weddings and special events sales manager who is a great advocate for information in regards to wedding venues in Nashville, as well as what Scarritt Bennett has to offer. So, let's talk different amenities wedding venues offer that makes it worth booking with them. All-inclusive wedding venues typically include the following: on-site venue coordinator or wedding planner, a ceremony and reception area, and catering. Pricing structure can vary from venue to venue that is deemed all-inclusive. Some may charge a flat fee, and others might charge a flat fee and a per-person fee for catering services. Some all-inclusive venues include rentals like linens, centerpieces, sound systems, or chairs and silverware like the Bridge Building in Nashville, which we'll talk more about later. All-inclusive weddings are truly all-inclusive, with having everything you need that you didn't even know you needed included in their flat fees or provided as upgrades or add-ons. Then you have your non-inclusive wedding venues, which offers the necessities like a prep kitchen or a warm kitchen, and they have the option of an on-site coordinator with setup and breakdown crews for the entire day. So once you figure out the type of amenities you want included and excluded while searching for your ideal venue, you want to start considering the different types of styles that are an entire vibe. Vibe. I'm so happy I did that. I'm not taking that out. Not at all. I live in the South, more specifically Tennessee, and this state is riddled with barn-style weddings, but not all barns are created equally. So, I filmed and photographed a barn wedding in Chattanooga, Tennessee that was night and day difference compared to the other barn wedding I filmed in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. One's like at the top of the state, one's at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? So, Howie Farms Apple Barn has this charcoal gray exterior and a whitewashed interior that is filled with gorgeous chandeliers and a bridal suite that cannot be put into words, compared to Drakewood Farms, all-inclusive wedding venue that has a wooded ceremony area straight out of The Hobbit, with this 170-year-old barn with natural light pouring in from the back and the left side of the space. To add a chef's can't do it with this mic here, but to add a chef's kiss, they have a 6,000 square foot pavilion, 2 large dressing areas in their mansion on the property, and a rustic loft in their stone cottage. Because why not? So I could go on and on about Drakewood, but both of these venues are barn style wedding venues with unique features for brides on the hunt. So hit them up. Pretty cool place. Anywho, first venue or venues that comes to mind when I think of modern wedding venues here in Nashville would be the Cordell and the Bridge Building. Both venues are located in downtown Nashville, which, you would have guessed it, increases the price tag, but farthest thing from your traditional southern barn wedding. And I mean, if you want to get away from barn wedding, it would be worth the money. They're definitely beautiful venues and very modern, so it's not just my 2 cents. But the Bridge Building could be deemed scenic, but when I think of scenic venues, I think of a wedding off the river, a wedding nestled, or a venue nestled in mountains overlooking the city below, or this area that I will have the pleasure of photographing and filming in November of 2022 called Jasper Highlands. This past November, I had the pleasure of filming and photographing a wedding in a converted event space called The Views at Fountains in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The top floor to the right was an event space that could also be converted to a wedding space with a bridal suite and a boardroom for the boys. And that's really all I got about that converted space. Now, when I think of historic or cathedral-style venues, I think of Scarritt Bennett Center or Whiteman's Chapel. That sounded like a tongue twister, but anywho. It was built in classic Gothic cathedral style in 1928. Whiteman Chapel is a historical and architectural treasure built for acoustics, music sourced through its Gothic arches from organ, vocalists, and instrumental groups. And if you thought I write that, you would be completely wrong. I got that off their website. But this is what I wrote. I feel Hocus Pocus vibes. And that song the Sanders and sisters sang during the Halloween party that they had with the people, would have slapped if it was filmed in Whiteman. Just my humble opinion. I wrote that. Anywho, either way, the space is stunning. And I would know because I filmed a wedding there. Yes, that was a shameless plug. Kind of shrug. Anywho, now that we got all the amenities, vibes, and styles out of the way, let's talk about how many different ways we can save you money on your ideal wedding venue. I don't know how much money you can save by having your wedding during the week, but I have filmed a wedding on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Friday. If there wasn't a significant amount of money being saved, I don't think these couples would risk alienating half their family from being able to attend their wedding because they couldn't take off from work, or they didn't see the point in getting wasted on a Tuesday rather than a Thursday. Nah, I might not drink. I think I made that clear because I love Shirley Temples, but I did attend college, okay? And I had roommates in sororities that got wrecked on Thursday. So getting wasted at a wedding is a thing. And I wonder if they're gonna get mad at me because I brought that up, but it is what it is. You'll be all right. But anywho, not my thing though. Where's my cringe emoji? Getting drunk, wasted on a Thursday. Oh, anywho, a lot goes on a Sunday. Okay, and when I say a lot, I mean like church and sports, particularly here in the South. So getting married on a Sunday in the South is fairly cheap because the majority of the population down here is doing one or the other or both on a Sunday, and demand is very low for a wedding venue. Now, if you think I'm lying, I'm full of, I don't know. Well, let's just take a look at the Bridge Building and the Bell Tower. At the time of this recording, if you were to rent the Cumberland space at the Bridge Building for an all-day event on a Saturday, it would cost you $8,500, which would include 130 white or black padded folding chairs, 13 60-inch round tables with china, silverware, and glassware, and the main patio tent with heat or AC, depending on what season you're getting married in. Now, if $8,500 is a steep price to pay for a venue over the weekend, then you can book any space at the Bridge Building on a Sunday morning for $3,500. Now, the Bell Tower, which is beautiful, by the way, but another Bridge Building property, costs $10,000. $10,000 for a Saturday evening, which includes 250 mahogany Chavalry chairs, 25 60-inch round tables with china, silverware, and glassware. Clearly a bigger space, but you are paying $10,000 for a 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. wedding. And if you're feeling froggy and you want to jump for an all-day event on Saturday, that goes for $12,000. but for the same space for 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday would cost you $3,500. Like, are you seeing the power of getting married on a very unappealing day in the week? Like, specifically on Sunday in the South? Like, just 12,000, 35, 12,000, 35. Prime months are from June, October, with stragglers in November and New Year's Eve bash weddings in December. No offense, but it takes a special kind of couple to get married in June. Especially if the ceremony is outside. Yeah, nothing like wearing a 3-piece suit in 98-degree weather for a barn wedding in Dixon, Tennessee. I'm not throwing any shade at you guys for that couple in June. But anywho, my kind of humans get married in October. I had a wedding every Saturday this year in October, so they came out in full force. When the fall leaves are vibrant and falling off the trees, it's not too cold, it's not too hot, and have all the moody vibes while Freeform is playing 31 Nights of Halloween. But these are the months that a lot of couples get married during. I felt that this year. And venues are at full price, if not increased, because of demand and having to pay good old employees for overtime hours. That sounded sarcastic, but seriously, you the real MVPs taking up your Saturdays. So, getting married in February doesn't sound like a winner chicken dinner. Like, who gets married in February? Brianna and Trey at Howie Farms in February of 2020 before the world stood still. That's who. Yeah, so, depending on where you live, like Colorado or Wyoming, a February wedding that might be prime time, and stunning, but no one in the South wants to get married in February. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting married in February, but here in the South, everything is dead. Yeah, the trees, the grass, our bones, because it's nothing but doom and gloom until spring has sprung. But lately it's been like 72 degrees and stormy, so it's kind of weird right now. But anywho, global warming. But when you have a stunning menu with a charcoal gray exterior and a whitewashed interior that is filled with gorgeous chandeliers and a bridal suite that can be put into words, we forget this particular wedding took place in February when it was 28 degrees outside. You see their breath right now? Like, they're doing their send-off. It was cold. It was cold. So, if you can't see yourself getting married in February and you have to get married in October or you will die, like literally die, then consider getting married at noon. This hack was a hack for budgeting food, but it's also a hack for booking a wedding as well. Less hours equals less money out of your pocket. The bridge building, the bell tower are prime examples of how much money you could save where you get married between the hours of 9 and 12. On Sunday, to be specific. So, very short wedding, I know. You want to bang, shebang, but you don't have the shebang price, so it's all good. But if you're in a rush to get to your honeymoon, if that gets you motivated to have a wedding at noon, this is a surefire way to get there in 3 seconds flat. Absolute facts. We're just breaking the ice right now.
So what do you want to know? I can start from the very beginning. In Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, we could start there now. Okay. How do I ask this question? I feel like I'm that type of bride, or I will be that type of bride, even though I know filmed however many weddings, photographed however many weddings, to still, like, where do I start when I'm looking for a wedding venue? Like, what do I even look for, you know?
Yeah, most people ask their friends at this point. Or if you've lived in Nashville for a long time, or any place for a long time, and go to weddings as a young person, you generally know what the venues are around town and the places that speak to you. And that's what's so beautiful about Scarritt Bennett and White Men in particular, is that it's such a special place where lives have been transformed. And people feel drawn to it and connected to it for that reason, because they've been in the space. It feels like home to them because it is such a special, not just because of the architecture, but because of the community here. And it just kind of radiates through everything that we do. And so if you've been to weddings, you kind of have that knowledge. A lot of people, what they're doing now is just hiring a wedding planner to tell them everything, especially in a city that the wedding industry is like one of the biggest things here from the beginning, before your wedding, for a bachelorette party.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen them rolling around here? in the trucks, and there's party buses, there's golf carts now. Pedal Tavern was the big one that started out. There's all kinds of, we're bridemaid central. There's TikToks and Vines, even Vines, literally, even Vines made of the brides that roll around here.
John Deere tractors, just dragging them around.
Literally, not even figuratively, literally dragging them around.
Down in a giant wagon. I'm surprised we haven't heard one out the door.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter what we're shooting in here.
Here by Vanderbilt, they all go by down 19th.
Throw out flyers like, get married here if you haven't figured out. I mean, you probably have if you're that far into it at a bachelorette party, but in case you change your mind, we're available.
Our parties, and they're engaged, and they, are about to get engaged, and they're like, oh, that place looks good. But where to start in a place where the industry is growing so quickly, I think the best way to do it is by getting advice from people and word of mouth, which is why it's important for us to book as many weddings as we can, have as many people in our space so they know how special and wonderful it is, and so that they choose us, they think of us when it's time to get married. So yeah, people are starting just by hearing what their friends are saying and what they're doing.
I don't think it's really like a vibe, like, well, I've always wanted to get married in a cathedral type wedding. I've always wanted to get married in an all white barn or a rustic barn or and
that stuff is pretty cookie cutter, and we're not. And that's why I think white men in particular stands out, is that we're not this, yes, we make it really easy and we make you feel really welcome and the space itself is stunning, but we're not we have a history, we have a past, we have a thriving community here, with conferences and retreats and people who feel so attached to it, that we're not just a converted barn down in Franklin, which that's beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
They're really pretty. Photographers transformed it into, but that is the look around here for sure. It's barns.
That's how we stand out, is that we're not. You can't replicate this anywhere.
Very true. I mean, I like how I look. I'm looking at the ceiling, the lights, the hanging chandeliers. What is this? Lanterns. Okay, I really did say that. I did say that. They're hanging lanterns. Like, you can't. Yeah, this has been here for how many years?
100.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't do that. Who's texting me? What's activity? Somebody liked my reel of me falling in college. I know.
People connected to my activity because I don't want to feel like I'm in a race with somebody. I don't want people to check up on me and be like, you've not gotten off the couch today. Are you okay? I can tell that you've sat down all day. You've taken 4 steps.
Telling you now, stand up. Wow. What in the world? Okay. All right. So where to start?
And how to plan?
That's a big one.
Our wedding planner.
Here first. You heard it here first.
Who have been doing it for 30 plus years. And they train other people to do it who go out on their own. You have to find the right person, not just anybody, not one of those, I shouldn't be saying this, but not one of those like big industry, all-inclusive planners like Infinity or whatever the other one is.
For something?
Yes.
Okay.
Because those people, they come in and out, they get hired from out of town. They don't know Nashville. They don't know how special this place is. So they treat it like the converted barn in Franklin. And we're not that. And they do that to a lot of places. It's just not personal. And any wedding venue can give you a list of people who is good. That's what we provide also is we have a list of recommended vendors and planners that who have done hundreds of weddings here, who are warm and kind and take care of business. And so those are the people we like to work with, the people who acknowledge the beauty of the space and how special the space is. Those are the people we want to work with, and those are the people we will tell you that you should work with because they're the best.
And I also think too that a lot of people base their venue choice off of price. And I mean, this whole series is about budgeting, guys, okay? Like, that's so we can pick what we want, not settle, because that's what the budget tells us that we can only get. And so with that budget, you can actually be very picky about who you decide to go with, rather than let's go to the converted barn. If we want to do all inclusive, if we want to just do a flat rental fee, I mean,
they even have planners you can hire on staff to do it. And you have it. But like, why do you want an anonymous experience? Why do you want something that everybody else would get? Here, we treat everybody the same and important. But everybody's experience is different because of where we are. It's a special, transformative space, and everybody can interact with it differently. And as far as budget goes, I mean, we've kind of fall on the lower end of the budget. I mean, a Saturday night wedding here is $3,900. You get a 4-hour block. That's like unheard of for somewhere that's like this. And we do that on purpose. So that we can be affordable for people who can't spend $50,000 on their wedding, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because there are ways to do it where you don't have to spend $50,000.
Be done that way, that you can spend $50,000 on a wedding, and then that's where the memes come in, where it's like you really spent that on one day. You could have put that as a down payment. You could have. And it's like,
why would I want a $20,000 wedding when I could do a $20,000 honeymoon and travel around the world for a month with the person that I love? And be like, yeah, sign me up for that $20,000 honeymoon. I'll take that over a $20,000 wedding. So we do that on purpose to make it easy. And our space is so beautiful already that, flowers which are a big expense. You just don't need a lot of them. A lot of people do like candles and greens, but nothing huge, crazy in terms of flowers because the space doesn't really require it. You don't have to beautify with flowers in our particular space because it's already beautiful as it is. So that's always something to consider when you're. I mean, I think that's always something to consider when you're picking a venue.
That is a big deal. Now that you said that too, because there are some venues that I went to that it was like bare bones would have just been like, but like once you get the florals in there, it's like, but it's like what would you do without the florals though? Just been like, I mean, it's nice, it's sweet. It would be really sad. About the couple.
Everybody knows the two most expensive things for a wedding are flowers and alcohol.
Literally, I was gonna say that, but I was like, yeah, flowers and alcohol. Put it on the shirt. It's flowers and alcohol.
You're in a venue somewhere that's already beautiful and doesn't require a whole lot of florals. Spend the money on the alcohol. Or just the party in general. Whatever you want to, whatever, the food, whatever.
I laugh because I don't drink, right? So it's always funny when I'm like, you could save a lot of money by not.
So this would be the perfect place for you to get married, Leia, because we don't have any alcohol. It's not allowed on campus. So you'd be fine. Your guests, I don't know, they might be mad, but but you'll be okay. It doesn't matter. It only matters what you think.
That's why I always said I would elope and just flag all you guys. Don't even have to worry about it. My 5 friends are coming, and we're going to have a good time. So, and all the money's going to be spent on photo and video. So, I'm going to make a vacation out of it.
Like, when you already have a beautiful space, your photographer doesn't have to do a whole lot. And that's good on them because they're using their brain. they're using their brain all the time to compose great shots. If they're a good photographer, we're talking about good photographers here. If they're a good photographer, they're going to be grateful when they see somewhere that is just already beautiful, already well lit, great light. They're going to be so happy. And then they can spend the rest of their time
just being overwhelmed with all the creativity that's going to come from the space. I kid you not. Now that you said it, now I'm going to get on my soapbox real quick, okay? And talk about the wedding that I did film here back in April. And I kid you not, I was a kid in the candy store. Like I was just like, we can go over here, we can go over there. There's a shot, like literally I'm looking at it right now, where I was right there in front of that pew, and the doors open, and it was like a shallow depth of field, and she appeared as a silhouette, and then she came into front.
I'm a photographer too. There's nothing better than being like, yes. I don't have to bring 800 flashes, lights with me. Everything can be naturally lit and beautiful, and it's the best.
And I've been to a couple venues, like it's 50-50. I've been the ones I'm like, there's so much I could do here that I'm overwhelmed. We're not going to be able to do everything I have in my head. It's a shame. And then there's some that it's like, well, we got 4 spots. We got 4 solid spots. And after that, I might have to consult an app. No, I'm just kidding. No, maybe not. We're going to figure it out. And yeah, you're going to have to just going to really, it's like you might have to question yourself as a photographer, videographer. It's like, I have nothing here. I can't do anything.
Your space is just ugly and dark, and this space is not. Yeah, or yellow.
Tungsten light bulbs, and so everybody's yellow. And auto white balance, if it's not right. I had one wedding like that, and I was like, that hurt my heart. Oh, I was like, that was such a good scene, but everybody was yellow. So we went with it anyway because it was just a beautiful scene, but still. Right.
Creative anyway. Yeah.
Black and white, and some of my videos were just me, trying to do some stylistic thing. I was like, no, the white balance was off.
Yellow. Yeah.
Purple, white people were yellow. So we had to put black and white.
Beautiful choice also. But when you have a space, it's like the best thing in the world for your photographer to be like, oh, thank goodness. Like I don't have to work any extra special magic, and I can spend my brain power being creative in a beautiful space.
Yeah, all that. Oh. Butter. You're right. I mean, I think you knocked all my questions out of the park, honestly, of what Scarritt Bennett has to offer. We have Whiteman, we have Skinnerd. What is the other venues that we have? Is it just 2 or 3?
Do Whiteman or Skinner. Skinner is our it's like our little baby chapel. It has 20 chairs in it. It has beautiful stained glass. And most people do like micro weddings or mini weddings in there. If they don't want a huge wedding, they just want to invite 20 people or 5 people, close family. Do it on the fly. You can do it on the fly. You can elope.
There's a wedding going on right now, like literally next to us in Skinner.
And the photos are stunning in there too. You kind of can't go wrong. The stained glass is stunning in there. It's even more than it is in here. It's much more colorful in there. And so we've tried to set it up in such a way that it is always beautiful, and people are always, and it's also a special little place too.
Outside, like there's so many arches around here, and now, what was that thing we were just talking about a couple days ago that we cut out?
There's an arch in the hedge over here by our dining hall that needed to be landscaped, and we finally got it landscaped, and it is beautiful. I think that the wedding this past weekend used it, so I can't wait to see their photos, because that's really the first wedding that we've had that would have been able to use it since we did it. So that's kind of our thing, is these Gothic arches that are just gorgeous and well built by hand by a bunch of Nashville people. Yeah. It's amazing.
Being affordable as well, because that's always the favorite phrase I see on Facebook groups is I need someone reasonable and affordable, and I'm like, well, listen, right. Yes, contact information somewhere around your face. Maybe
Up here. Click the link below. Smash that subscribe button. Click the bell so that you can get notifications. Is it up here? Is it down here? Is it over there? Is it up there? I can point to all of them so you get a good like screen grab. Oh. Subscribe below.
subscribe below. What was somebody I watched? So she was like, she had like an accent, like subscribe below. So that's all from me and my side of YouTube. Hope you this. Where were you going with that, Leah? Anyway, hope this video makes budgeting for your future wedding venue with some rentals more clear cut. Don't forget to implement the non-satanic 6x6x6 rule when planning your wedding. If this video was helpful, adore that like button, subscribe for future helpful wedding planning videos, and share with a friend, because sharing, as always, is caring. And I will catch you in the next episode. Peace, love, happiness. Is that a song? Is it an intro to a song? Anyway, peace. Goodbye.